So in the previous video, we wrote to the console. Sorry for the voice. My friend took my mic. I actually had a Yeti mic. It was amazing. He took it, plugged it into his laptop. A laptop which he claimed was a great gaming laptop. Alienware. And that horrible thing burnt the wire. There went my Yeti mic. Now I have to use a cheap Boya mic. And I can barely make out what I'm talking about. Seems like I'm mumbling to myself. I guess in all fairness, maybe in the previous video I was, because I did mention that I'm making these videos for myself more so than anybody else. So I probably was mumbling to myself. But like I said, these videos aren't meant to train anybody. So I was bored and I decided that I'm going to change the color of the message. And to do so, we actually have a Windows API, which, no, it's not the sleep function. It is SetConsoleTextAttribute function. There's an important disclaimer on the Windows documentation. In the Windows documentation, this document describes console platform functionality that is no longer a part of our ecosystem roadmap. We do not recommend using this content in new products, but we will continue to support existing usages for the indefinite future. Basically, don't use it for new products, but we'll still support it. And since I'm just playing around with assembly language, I might as well use it. So as you can see, this is the function, and it takes two arguments. A handle hConsole output, we already have that. That was the same handle write console took. And it takes an attribute, which is a word, and that attribute is basically the color you want to set. You can have a foreground blue, foreground green, foreground red, background. So let's play around with these values. Now we're going to need to know the values in decimal or hex, in hex for these. I did a search and the foreground blue is actually 0001. The 0x here tells you it's a hex value. It's basically 1H. 1H is 1 hex. So let's use this function. As always, we need to first prototype it. We need to tell our assembler to look for it somewhere because it's not inside of our assembly language. So it's going to try to find it in its Windows DLLs. So proto, remember you can write these in this format as well. You could have done extern set console text attribute :proc, but this is so much easier. Now we have it here. An important thing is that this function, I read this somewhere, I don't know if it was here, needs to be called first, and then any following text written to the console will change color, otherwise it won't. This function affects text written after the function call. There it is. This sentence is very important. So we have to use this function first, and then we can use the right console. So I'm lazy, I'm just going to copy paste things. So let's call the function, and we'll set the parameters afterwards. Above it, of course. There we have it. Now it takes two parameters, which means the first one is going to go into RCX, which is basically the handle we already have. And the second one is going to go into RDX as per the Microsoft API convention, and we saw that it was 1H. That's really all we need to do. Our text should change color. Let's run this. Ooh, that looks nice. It's turned blue. Let's try changing it to some other color. Let's change this to 4H. Red. Now let's try 8H. No, that's pretty close to white. We'll keep it 4H. And we've got red. Let's see if we can change the background color. So if we wanted to change the background color, what we do, the attributes, background green, red on green. Let's see, what would be the background value? The background green value is well, I don't know what the value is. Guess I'll have to find the value and then maybe we could use it. Let's ask ChatGPT. Maybe you can give us something to work with. It's very notorious at times. Value for SetConsoleTextAttribute. That's the value, 20x. So if we did, let's copy this and paste it, since we want to change the background to 20h. And now if we run it, ooh, I have no idea what I just did. Oh, I'll change the background color. I thought I would change the whole background, just change the background of the text. But you see what it's doing. You moved into RCX the first argument, you moved into RDX the second argument, you call the function, and this is what you have. Pretty neat. And that's really all for today's video.